Good.
I'll set the stage for you to begin. July the 3rd, 1985, 2 days before my 7th birthday. 2 o'clock in the morning, there's a knock at the door. My mother answers the door, and there's a policeman there. Now, unfortunately, most times when there's a policeman at the door at 2 a.m., it's never going to be good news. Well, this wasn't good news. This was news that my father was never going to come through that same door ever again. He wouldn't be home in the morning. He wouldn't wake us up. He wouldn't fix us breakfast. We wouldn't get a hug. Never, ever again. I say that to say this. Probably one of the biggest influences I ever had in my life, I only had for 7 years. I've been alive now 4 times longer than the short time that I had with my father. But during that time, he was a man who always told me how much he loved me, always took time to give me a hug, always took time to find out what was going on in my life, in my day, what was important to me right then, so that he could show that interest to me. And as I look back on his life, I look at the example that he gave, the way that he loved my mom, the way that he loved my brother and I, the way that he interacted with the rest of our family, and his professional career. I chose to follow in his footsteps, and I'm a police officer now, just like he was. I work for the same department that he worked for. I never thought I would actually get to that point in my life, but as I began to grow older, the more and more that I realized I lost my father at such a young age and didn't have him as I was growing up in life, made me almost want to be even more like him each and every day. And I think that's probably one of the biggest driving factors that led me to my career currently as a police officer. I just wanted to be more like him. And I still run into people now that used to work with him, that maybe didn't work side by side with him every day, but still knew him. And they always have really great things to say. They talk about how he was such a hard worker, how he was such a good husband, a good father. And it just really makes me feel good. It may sound corny, but it kind of gives me that warm feeling on the inside, like, wow, you know, I mean, that's my dad. They're talking about my dad. My heart aches constantly because I miss him every single day. And my heart aches for my children now because they didn't get a chance to know their grandfather. And I know that it would have been an awesome, fun experience for me to have kids and to be able to share that with him. But I can only hope that once my days are gone, that people will still talk about me perhaps to my children the way that people refer to my dad. That maybe, I'll be referred to as a good guy, a good father. That, I worked hard and did a good job. That's all that I can hope for. Even though, like I said, I only had him for a short period of time. My father was probably the biggest influence in my life, just because I did have him for such a brief moment. And I think that brief moment encouraged a lifetime of just striving to be the best that I can be for him.